let my in-laws think I'm poor, while I'm worth $47 million. The secret fortune, living a double life around my in-laws. They see me clipping coupons at the grocery store. They watch me drive a 15-year-old sedan. They shake their heads when I wear the same outfits repeatedly, probably pitying their son for marrying someone so financially challenged. My in-laws have spent the past 8 years convinced I'm barely making ends meet, struggling to contribute to the household, dragging their successful son down with my modest lifestyle. What they don't know, what nobody in my husband's family knows, is that I'm worth $47 million. The money came from a tech startup I co-founded in my 20s, sold just before I met my husband. I've kept this secret deliberately, carefully, watching how people reveal their true selves when they think you have nothing. The results have been both enlightening and heartbreaking. This is the story of why I maintain this charade, what I've learned about human nature, and the moment everything almost came crashing down. A founder's exit. I co-founded a software-as-a-service platform with my college roommate when I was 24. We built it in her parents' garage, living on ramen and determination, solving a problem we'd identified in project management for creative teams. For 3 years, we worked 80-hour weeks, maxing out credit cards, believing in something everyone said would fail. Then it didn't. A major tech company acquired us for $94 million when I was 27. My share, after taxes and splitting with my co-founder and early investors, came to $47 million. The money hit my account on a Wednesday. I remember staring at the number, refreshing the banking app repeatedly, unable to process that this was real. Financial advisors suddenly wanted my time. Investment firms courted me. But I'd watched enough stories of lottery winners losing everything to know that sudden wealth required careful management. I invested conservatively index funds, real estate, bonds, living off returns while preserving the principal. More importantly, I made a decision. I wouldn't let money define me or determine who stayed in my life. I'd seen how wealth changed people, how supposed friends emerged from nowhere when you had resources. I wanted authentic relationships built on who I was, not what I had. Meeting Daniel. I met Daniel 2 years after the acquisition, at a friend's backyard barbecue. I'd been living quietly, working as a freelance consultant, which was technically true, though I only took projects that interested me, not ones I needed. Daniel was a middle manager at a marketing firm, genuine and kind, with a laugh that made everyone around him smile. He noticed me struggling with a stubborn jar of pickles and offered help with such earnest concern that I instantly liked him. We talked for hours about books, travel dreams, and our shared love of terrible puns. He never asked what I did for money, never seemed to calculate my worth. On our first date, coffee and a walk through the botanical gardens, he insisted on paying but didn't make a show of it. He drove a sensible Honda, lived in a decent but unspectacular apartment, and seemed content with his life. When I told him I did tech consulting, he nodded without pressing for details. Our relationship grew naturally, built on laughter and compatibility rather than financial considerations. 6 months in, I knew I loved him, but I also knew I needed to see how his family would treat someone they perceived as financially beneath them. Meeting the Castellanos. Daniel's family was old money, not extravagantly wealthy, but comfortable across generations. His father owned a regional chain of successful car dealerships. His mother came from a family with real estate holdings. They lived in a neighborhood where lawns were manicured by services and cars always looked freshly detailed. When Daniel first brought me to Sunday dinner, I deliberately dressed down, nice but clearly off-the-rack clothing, minimal jewelry, driving my older car. I watched his mother's eyes take inventory, saw the almost imperceptible tightening around her mouth. The questions started immediately, polite but probing. Where did I go to school? What exactly did I do? Where was my family from? Each answer, state university on scholarship, freelance tech consulting, middle-class Midwestern family, added another tally mark to their mental ledger. Daniel's sister, Veronica, exchanged meaningful glances with their mother. His father asked about my financial planning with barely concealed concern. By dessert, I could feel their disapproval like humidity before a storm. After I left, I'm certain they had a family meeting about their son dating someone so clearly beneath them. The campaign begins. After Daniel proposed, with a modest but meaningful ring he'd saved for his family's concern transformed into active intervention. His mother started making comments about financial compatibility being important in marriage. His father offered Daniel money for a better ring, implying I'd be disappointed with something so simple. Veronica sent her brother articles about prenuptial agreements and protecting family assets. They weren't cruel, exactly, just persistently concerned that their son was making a mistake marrying someone without means. The wedding planning revealed their assumptions fully. They offered to pay for everything, then proceeded to treat me like a charity case. His mother would sigh about how I probably didn't understand certain traditions. When I suggested a simple, intimate ceremony, they exchanged relieved looks, clearly thinking I couldn't afford anything elaborate. They scheduled meetings with their financial advisor to help us set up properly, implying I brought nothing to the table. Throughout it all, I smiled and nodded, watching the dynamic, taking notes on who they really were when they thought they held all the cards. Daniel noticed the condescension, but attributed it to normal family adjustment, not class prejudice. 8 years of observations. We've been married 8 years now, and I've maintained the illusion perfectly. We live in a nice but not extravagant home, purchased with my money but titled to appear as if we stretched our budget. I drive my old car religiously when visiting his family. I shop sales, use coupons publicly, and talk about budgeting carefully. Meanwhile, I've anonymously funded 3 educational nonprofits, established scholarships, and invested in women-led startups. My money works quietly in the background, helping people who need it, while I observe how my in-laws treat someone they perceive as financially inferior. The comments never stopped. His mother worried about our retirement planning. His father offered Daniel better job opportunities, implying he needed to compensate for his wife's lack of contribution. Veronica made pointed remarks about her own husband's income whenever we gathered. At family events, I was seated with the lesser relatives while business discussions happened elsewhere. They bought extravagant gifts for their grandchildren from Veronica, but always asked if our kids needed anything, implying we couldn't provide adequately. Every interaction reinforced their belief in a hierarchy where money determined worth, and I sat firmly at the bottom of their family pyramid. The crisis point. Last month, Daniel's father had a health scare that required expensive medical procedures not fully covered by insurance. The family gathered for an emergency meeting to discuss finances. His mother broke down, revealing they'd made some poor investment decisions and their reserves weren't what everyone assumed. They needed $400,000 quickly. Veronica's household was overextended. Daniel started talking about taking loans, mortgaging our house, his voice tight with stress. His father looked defeated. His mother kept apologizing, and the perfect facade of their financial superiority crumbled in real time. I sat there watching Daniel's hands shake as he calculated numbers we couldn't make work. I saw his father's pride breaking. I watched this family that had treated me like a burden for 8 years face genuine crisis. And I realized the charade had gone far enough. Whatever point I'd been proving about authenticity and character, it paled compared to watching my husband suffer needlessly. The money sitting in my accounts, earning returns I didn't need, could solve this immediately. The question was whether revealing it would teach them something valuable or simply add humiliation to their crisis. I asked for 24 hours to explore options. The revelation. I transferred the full amount that night, then scheduled a family breakfast the next morning. When everyone gathered, confused about the timing, I handed Daniel's father a bank confirmation showing the funds deposited to his account. The room went silent. His mother asked where we'd gotten that kind of money. Daniel looked at me with complete confusion. I took a deep breath and told them everything. The startup, the acquisition, the $47 million I'd been sitting on for a decade while they patronized me at every gathering. I explained why I'd hidden it, wanting authentic relationships, needing to see people's true characters, protecting myself from suddenly becoming interesting only because of my bank account. Daniel's face cycled through shock, confusion, and then something like betrayal. His parents looked mortified. Veronica went pale, probably calculating every condescending comment she'd made. His mother started crying, apologizing, while his father couldn't meet my eyes. I wasn't cruel in my revelation, but I was honest. I told them about every comment that had stung, every assumption they'd made, every time they'd treated me as less than because they believed I had less than. I explained that money reveals character, both in those who have it and those who judge based on it. Then I left the room, giving them space to process, knowing that our family dynamic would never be the same. Rebuilding trust. The aftermath has been complicated. Daniel felt betrayed that I'd kept such a massive secret, even though he understood my reasons intellectually. We've been in couples counseling, working through trust issues and communication breakdowns. He's had to reconcile the wife he thought he knew with this hidden dimension of my life. His anger wasn't about the money itself, but about the fundamental dishonesty in our relationship. I've had to acknowledge that proving a point about character came at the cost of true intimacy with my husband. We're slowly rebuilding, more honestly than before, but the foundation needed serious repair work. His family has been transformed. His mother wrote me a 10-page letter apologizing for years of subtle cruelty, acknowledging how class prejudice had blinded her to who I actually was. His father returned the money. I transferred it back and told him it was a gift, not a loan. Veronica has been the most changed, questioning her own values and how she measures worth. They've all been humbled in ways that money can't buy. But there's awkwardness now, a self-consciousness that wasn't there before. They're overly careful, second-guessing every interaction, wondering if I'm still judging them. In solving one problem, I created another. The question becomes, is authentic remorse enough to rebuild relationships built on years of false assumptions? The cost of truth. Looking back, I'm still not certain whether my 8-year experiment was wise or merely self-indulgent. Yes, I learned exactly who my in-laws were when they thought I had nothing. Yes, I proved that their regard was conditional, based on superficial assessments rather than character. But I also damaged my marriage by keeping such a fundamental secret. I denied Daniel the chance to make fully informed choices about our life together. I positioned myself as a judge rather than a participant in our family dynamic. The moral high ground I occupied came with isolation, dishonesty, and a kind of superiority that might be its own form of prejudice. Money is a strange revealer of truth. It shows you who people are, both those who have it and those who don't, those who worship it and those who hide it. My in-laws failed a test they didn't know they were taking, revealing prejudices they might have eventually overcome if given the chance. But I also failed by choosing observation over honesty, by letting them flounder in assumptions I could have corrected at any time. We're all learning now about class, judgment, authenticity, and the complicated ethics of testing people without their knowledge. I'm not poor, and I never was, but I'm not sure I'm richer for having hidden it. Some truths need to be told earlier, before the revelation causes as much damage as the original deception. The real wealth, I'm learning, isn't in the bank account. It's in relationships built on honesty from the very beginning, even when that honesty makes us vulnerable. This story illustrates the complex relationship between wealth, identity, and authenticity. While it's natural to want to protect yourself from those who might value your bank account over your character, prolonged deception, even with understandable motivations, carries its own ethical costs. True character is revealed not just in how we treat those with less, but also in our honesty with those we claim to love. The in-laws' prejudice based on perceived financial status was wrong, revealing a shallow value system that measured human worth in dollars. But withholding truth from those closest to you, positioning yourself as a hidden judge of their character, carries its own moral complications. The deepest lesson here is that authentic relationships require vulnerability and honesty from the beginning. We cannot simultaneously demand authenticity from others while presenting a false version of ourselves, no matter how noble our stated reasons. Money can be a tool for good, a source of security, or a test of character, but it should never become the lens through which we secretly judge everyone around us. The real challenge isn't hiding wealth or flaunting it, but integrating it honestly into relationships built on mutual respect, where worth is measured in integrity, kindness, and genuine connection, rather than the numbers in an account. Both financial snobbery and the elaborate concealment of wealth spring from the same root. letting money define us more than it should.